For Group 3's Digital Citizenship project, the first topic that we decided to discuss is the impact of emergency online teaching on the digital divide.
Online teaching and learning. Online learning is teaching based in a virtual environment where all communications are facilitated using technology. The COVID-19 pandemic changed the way that many things worked in the United States, including online learning. Before this, almost all online courses were completed in a higher education setting. Only a small percentage of K-12 students were taking online classes or attending school virtually. This pandemic shifted all learning to online. What is the digital divide? The digital divide is the gap between people who do have knowledge of and access to technology and then those who don't. Because access to technology seems to be necessary for educational success these days, the digital divide can sustain and potentially make worse inequalities within underserved groups. Emergency online teaching and the digital divide. This video highlights some of the issues we can see when it comes to online learning and the access to, or lack of, technology. These issues include not being able to contact students or families, teachers not being able to cover all of their curriculum, teachers being less able to introduce new topics rather than just review, and much more. Think about it. Has the implementation of emergency online teaching been helpful or detrimental to our students? What about our educators? Has the use of teaching through technology increased even as most have moved back to in-person classes? Is this a positive or a negative thing?
Two challenges regarding impact of emergency online teaching, i.e. pandemic teaching, on the digital divide. Challenge number 1. Students do not get the face-to-face interaction and socialization from online teaching and learning as they would classroom teaching and learning. Students may lack participation by not showing up to classroom meetings or have their attention elsewhere during the meetings due to the lack of guardian attendance. Students who do not have access to technology or internet access will suffer from lack of face-to-face learning and online learning in general. Guardians may not be able to take time off of work to stay home with children and aid them during their classroom meetings and help with their coursework online. This is why not having face-to-face learning environment and having only online learning is a challenge. Challenge number 2. Teachers having to readjust their lesson plans to accommodate online or remote learning during pandemics. During remote online learning, teachers had to take their lesson plans that were designed for face-to-face learning and redesign them to be used remotely and online. Teachers discussed the challenge with online learning and lesson planning and suggested that there was not enough training and resources for teachers to adequately shift from face-to-face interactions to online remote learning. Teachers also admitted that many of them did not have the knowledge of how to use online portals or sites. Electing to teach online and being forced to teach online are two different mindsets. Having never taught online or having never had trainings for teaching online will open the way for teachers to feel overwhelmed and stressed and not bring forth their best teaching characteristics. Two opportunities regarding impact of emergency online teaching, i.e. pandemic teaching, on the digital divide.
Opportunity number 1. Allows for a more flexible learning environment for students, especially those that could not attend face-to-face learning due to hospitalization, disability, being a bully victim, etc. Online learning allows students to continue their education regardless of any disasters, such as a pandemic. Online learning requires students to have more accountability and responsibility as well. Opportunity number 2. Allows personalization and individualization in the classroom. Students can work at their own rate, and educators can specialize lessons to accommodate the specific needs of certain students. Online learning may also broaden learning opportunities for students. For example, offering a wider variety of courses that may not have been offered in a traditional classroom. Strategies to help with the challenges of online learning for P-12 learners regarding impact of emergency online teaching, i.e. pandemic teaching, on the digital divide. Strategies to help teachers and students navigate online learning. 1. Introduce more technologies in the classroom setting to familiarize teachers and students with technology use. As we learned during the COVID-19 pandemic, transitioning from traditional classroom instruction to strictly online learning is difficult and can lead to students falling behind. Studies have shown that in the 2020-2021 school year, students showed little progress in relation to other school years. 2. Making online meetings mandatory on certain days at a certain time. Setting meeting times via Zoom or another video platform for students to log in at a time that is good for them or their parents. For small children, parent assistance may be needed. Educators being mindful that some students may not have access to internet and providing an alternate way for students to get information. Making breakout sessions so that the teacher could have more one-on-one time with their students or in small groups. Setting smaller groups up for different times may allow more students to participate, considering many students may need assistance from parents to log in to their class, and parents may have jobs and different work schedules. Cadence learning. Cadence learning is a program that was started to help teachers navigate through the new era of online instruction during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Bullying using social media, texting, or other electronic means. Bullying and cyberbullying. Bullying is the unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-age children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. This behavior is typically repeated over time, or at least has the potential to be repeated over time. Cyberbullying is bullying that takes place over digital devices like cell phones, computers, and tablets. Cyberbullying most often occurs through social media, text messaging or messaging apps, online forums, email, and online gaming communities. How prevalent is cyberbullying in today's society? Roughly 95% of today's teens are online in some way, some of them having access to internet through a mobile device like a cell phone. In relation to this, about 46% of students say that they have experienced cyberbullying in their lifetime, and even 14% admitted to being the one to cyberbully others. Food for thought. Is the increasing use of technology in schools potentially causing an increase in cyberbullying? The video below shows a teen girl and her findings on the topic of cyberbullying, along with an idea she had to make people stop and rethink before they type. The video above is a touching poem that expresses the lasting effects of bullying.
2 challenges regarding bullying using social media, texting, or other electronic sources. Challenge number 1 may lead to psychological disorders such as depression, anxiety, and even suicide. The weight of being in persistent fear and uneasiness in connection with being bullied. Students who are bullied on social media, through text messages or other electronic means, also known as cyberbullying, may suffer from other issues in connection with psychological issues, such as loss of appetite, loss of sleep, and mood changes. Not only does cyberbullying cause psychological and physical concern, it may also cause academic concern as well. Challenge number 2. Legal aspects of bullying on social media, text messaging, or other forms of electronic means. Cyberbullying is expected to damage an individual frequently. Many times the cyberbullying takes place off campus, but then permeates on campus. This makes it hard for school officials to challenge students regarding the offense. There is limited case law in the area of cyberbullying and what school officials can and cannot do. While school officials offer no bullying policies in their handbooks, they also cannot impose on the freedom of speech for individuals. According to a Supreme Court free speech case, if the speech has the possibility of interfering with the well-being of students or cause violence on school grounds, the courts allow school officials to act accordingly and carry out the necessary consequences. According to the article from 2011, there are only 45 states in the United States that have laws that specifically address bullying in the school system. 2 opportunities regarding bullying using social media, texting, or other electronic sources. Opportunity number 1. Authorities and political ambassadors should look more into the issue and devise laws and rules against cyberbullying. Medical professionals have started to identify signs and symptoms of bullying within their patients. Cyberbullying has been and always will be a concern, and it is the responsibility of those in charge to implement appropriate measures to protect students at all costs. For authorities, whether school or law enforcement, to stop cyberbullying, Students and others should speak up and continue to speak up against bullying until someone listens. Opportunity number 2, staying aware and bringing awareness to cyberbullying. The best approach to terminate cyberbullying is to stay aware of your surroundings. Being aware of cyberbullying includes looking for signs of harassment. This may include aggressive or unmistakable communication that is ongoing through social media, text messages, emails, etc. If you are aware of cyberbullying, report it. And if you are a victim, try to ignore the behavior and report it. Another form of bringing awareness is to keep the evidence. When reporting the bullying procedure, produce the evidence along with it. The best thing to do to prevent cyberbullying in the future is to spread awareness by reporting any and all bullying that goes on within our school systems. Strategies to help mitigate bullying in P-12 schools regarding bullying using social media, texting, or other electronic sources. What are 2 things that can help mitigate bullying in schools and more specifically, cyberbullying? 1. Talk to your students about the effects of bullying. 2. Teachers can create a classroom environment where bullying is not tolerated in any form. 3. Set boundaries and clear rules for technology use. 4. Make sure students know that they can tell an adult, one that they feel comfortable talking to. Kids sometimes feel that they shouldn't tell because they are scared they will get their devices taken from them. StopBullying.gov. StopBullying.gov is a website that provides information about bullying and a video with examples of cyberbullying and what to do if this is happening to you.
Reference page. Examining K-12 teachers' feelings, experiences, and perspectives regarding online teaching during the early stage of COVID-19 pandemic. Cyberbullying and the law. A review of psychological and legal challenges. Cyberbullying. The challenges of remote K-12 education during the COVID-19 pandemic, differences by grade level. School response to cyberbullying and sexting, the legal challenges. And what bullying looks like in the digital age and how to prevent it.
More references. Remote learning isn't just for emergencies. Lessons learned while creating an effective emergency remote learning. 15 strategies educators can use to stop cyberbullying. The digital divide and educational equity, a look at students with very limited access to electronic devices at home. COVID-19 and the digital divide, inequities in online learning. Cyberbullying data.